You're watching Shalom TV, celebrating Jewish culture. Funding for Shalom TV has been provided by the following. And by viewers like you.
The true art of diplomacy, to say something, to make friendships, and to open your mind and your heart to other people, just to get them engaged also in your causes. I learned here in New York from AJC, and mainly from these beautiful two people, Pincus and Lena Altman.
Access and AJC are outreach organizations, so we strive to develop relationships between the Jewish community and the non-Jewish communities of the world.
Dan is the kind of person who takes things beyond the interfaith. He did not come to me with religion. He came to me with friendship.
My husband Ed, I claim, had a bromance with Dan.
Not everybody has a bromance with Dan.
Daniel has been the consummate leader in not only helping create the forum for all of us to become leaders in the Jewish community, but also really take ownership of certain initiatives that are of importance to us.
We've been working to develop the Access community here in New York, increase the fundraising level, increase the participation, increase the activity in our different outreach efforts, whether it's to Latino groups, African American groups, to Indian groups, to Muslims, to Christians. We have an Access chapter in Israel, and we're extending relationships to Yiddish in Europe, to Latino Jewish student groups in Latin America, to the South African Union of Jewish Students. And so we're truly integrating Access into the fabric of the global Jewish advocacy network. It's been an exciting journey. When I came to Access, I asked Rebecca, who is the director of Access, which effort needs some work, and she said, we're having trouble with the Muslim-Jewish relationships. And so I said, okay, this is going to be my challenge.
Dan has been, I think, phenomenal. I think the work he's doing is just so important in terms of the outreach to many different communities, and I feel his enthusiasm, his warmth, and Dan, kol hakavod, mabruk for everything you're doing, and just keep doing it. And we're really proud to be working with you.
Tikkun olam, right? Fixing the world, right? As we say in Arabic, husn al-alam, sounds a little similar. Fixing the world, repairing the world. That whole concept, he lives it.
When Daniel was being honored, we had Nadim. He's really a leader of the Muslim community here in New York. Daniel has really built those bridges with the Muslim community.
Daniel Pincus has that quality of genuine warmth and affection that is so rare to find these days. He has a genuineness of purpose, which is both enticing and exciting, and I can think of few people better equipped than Daniel to take further the very important issue of 1950s vintage furniture. Thank you.
The personal and professional risks that our Muslim counterparts face when they engage in this type of outreach to the Jewish community are far greater. The likelihood and the severity of the consequences that can come to developing these relationships is far greater for them, and we've seen it play out, unfortunately. It gives you a great deal of respect, and truly it's been a fascinating ride for me. I've traveled all around the world, to Qatar as the only Jew to attend a conference of 300 young Muslims from 75 countries. I was just in Ukraine for the second global conference of the Muslim-Jewish Conference. There was a large contingent there from Pakistan. For many of the people, it was their first time ever leaving Pakistan. First time ever leaving Pakistan. The first time they wanted to leave, they went to the backwoods of Kiev to spend a week with a bunch of Jews. Nothing could be more inspiring to me, to see that kind of excitement, to see that kind of curiosity and the dedication to leave your home for the first time to do something that I'm sure is brave for them to do in their own community, and where it came from in their own curiosity. It's wonderful to be a part of. So that's what's inspiring me.
Dan has taken AJC access to a different level. As you step down as co-chair of AJC New York, and I look forward to many years of sharing accomplishments and successes with you in interreligious affairs and within Access. Mazel tov to you.
We've created a global Access steering committee that's going to be integrating the Access network around the world, and I'll be chairing that for a year. I'll also be serving on the Board of Governors as the first member of Access to be serving on the Board of Governors of the American Jewish Committee. And so while I will be stepping up my activities and my representation at the senior level of AJC, I'll be just as involved with Access at the leadership level as well.
If there's one word that comes up when people speak about you, Dan, it is the world, because you are a world traveler. And apropos the old folk song, you have the whole world in your hand. Here, can you hold it? We decided that we would give you a little world that you can hold in your hands. And it has AJC inscribed on it, because as you travel the world, we know that you are bringing the thoughtfulness that you personally bring, that you're bringing the spirit of the Jewish people, the openness, the need that we have to make connections in a way that matters, and a very open ear to listen and to learn and to share it with all of us and to inspire us as well. So here's a little world for you, Dan.
It's wonderful. It's really inspiring to have the opportunity to represent the Jewish world and to break down the boundaries of misunderstanding and to build relationships of mutual understanding, of cooperation and respect with like-minded people who wouldn't otherwise have the opportunity to get to know each other.
And for Lena, if there's one word that comes up when people describe Lena, it's love. We have a little token of people's affection here for you, and it's a scrapbook of pictures of your time at AJC over the years, and of notes from colleagues and from friends and from Golden Fellows and from Access leaders. And let's just say they like you very, very, very much.
We're going to miss you tremendously, Lena.
Your energy and your vivaciousness is only surpassed by your wisdom and your willingness to learn and to take a situation, whichever you encounter, and make it better.
A bundle of goodwill and effort and dedication to understanding, a different faith from the one she had been born in, and in a context where conflict had existed, to put it mildly. In that way, I learned a huge amount from her, from the readiness to believe in the best of somebody else, to learn from the heritage of the different people, and eventually to adopt it.
Every time one comes into contact with Lena, you come out a better person. And it's very, very hard to find someone like that. Thank you, really. From the bottom of my heart, thank you. We will miss you, but we still have you. Berlin is going to become a better place. And so is the AJC.
I think what brought me to it first, or what caught my eye, was the work in German-Jewish relations that AJC was pioneering. It was an exciting journey, certainly for me. I grew up in Germany, and when I was 19, I came for a year to live in the States. And following that, I fell in love with this country, and I decided to go back to graduate school in Germany and study American studies. And while I was doing that, I applied for a scholarship to be in the US, and I studied Jewish literature. And in my research for various theses I wrote, I always came across AJC. And once I came to the website and I dug a little deeper, I realized that there was so much more to its mission and its work than what met the eye at first. I wasn't Jewish at the time, actually. I came to AJC and they welcomed me with open arms, and I really appreciated that. And it's not just David Harris, it's all my colleagues there. They're hardworking, they're smart, and they were always willing to bring me in and teach me.
As a professional, you are the model AJC professional leader. And in many ways, you represent where AJC is today. AJC's priority in terms of German-Jewish relations that parallels the investment that Dan has made in Muslim-Jewish relations demonstrates so clearly how ahead of the curve AJC has always been over the generations, establishing an office in Berlin a long time ago before it was fashionable. And of course, we all know why, so that you could go work there now.
There are probably a lot of American Jews that wonder what Germany is like today and what young Germans think about Israel and so on. And so these are opportunities really unique to allow them to have that frank exchange. And there are not always agreements, but there's certainly that level of trust that there can be disagreements, and it's very informative.
Alan and I traveled together with AJC last summer to Germany, where Lena is actually moving to work in the Berlin office. We had an incredible experience. We learned a lot about German history and modern day Germany, and we did a lot of interesting meetings with diplomats and Germans who are interested in learning about Jewish culture in Israel.
So it was the German-Jewish work that really initially brought me to AJC, and now that's that work that I'm moving to Berlin for, to continue there with AJC's Berlin office. Certainly relating it to Germany, AJC is a very important voice in Berlin and the political scene, where people approach our Berlin office and want to hear an American perspective, but also a Jewish perspective. So AJC is a very unique role there. And in general, AJC is connected with Jewish communities around the world. It's an organization that keeps listening to our friends and fellow communities around the world. And if there's a problem, we step in and we try to help out in whatever way we can. And thankfully, AJC is very well connected in the United States, and the United States is obviously a country that can make a difference on a lot of important matters. So we have a unique role to play, I think, and thankfully, communities around the world see that.
What does the future hold? I think that the future holds wonderful opportunities for young people like me to really benefit from the resources, the relationships, the mission, the community of support that is the senior levels of AJC. And so I think there's nothing but wonderful things in the future for Access.